This just in, social media is blowing up and putting out there what has been happening to renowned black actor Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors stands at a height of 6 feet, but he has been put a very crazy lawsuit on a lady who is about 5'7". Now, how does this come to play? Jonathan Majors is a very big renowned actor in the United States, and he has been a rising star for a very long time. I think at least ever since 2019. Now, Mr. Majors was recently accused of assault and harassment and also different charges that were put on his ex-girlfriend, Jabari Grace, and therefore a final verdict came out to be able to put very bad publicity and light on Mr. Majors. Therefore, in today's video, I'm going to discuss everything concerning Jonathan Majors, what the verdict has been just a few hours ago, given by the District Court of his state, and to make it even worse, the reason as to why Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel and Disney has now dropped Mr. Majors. So, let's go. Welcome everyone to Legal News Daily. My name is Terry Kahuma, the usual host on this channel. And before I begin this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, share these videos with everyone who you know will love legal content and the law simplified even on Legal News Daily. Now, everything concerning Jonathan Majors, let me start from the brief fact. Jonathan Majors dated Jabari Grace for about 2 years or 1.5 years. And Jonathan Majors has been a renowned actor, just like I said before. He has acted in big blockbuster movies like Ant-Man and Wasp Girl. He has acted in Creed 3 and a number of other small dramas and different series which have risen up his name. Now, Jonathan Majors to me is a really cool dude, and it really breaks my heart to see that another black man is going down in a number of legal lawsuits. Now, speak about black men. I've done a number of videos concerning black men all over the United States who have been in ridiculous lawsuits. I did a video on P. Diddy, I did a video on Will Smith, and I'll leave the links in the description below. Now, to make things even worse, according to the brief facts, back in March, Jabari and Jonathan Majors were seated in a car in his SUV. And according to the brief facts or the witness statements that were put in the District Court of California, Grace Jabari saw a text message come on to Jonathan Majors' phone. Now, to make even matters worse, she thought that it was from his current girlfriend, who is Megan Good, or from another mysterious woman. Now, their relationship was already toxic. There were numerous reports of them having a lot of toxic fights and them not being happy in their relationship. But the moment Jabari Grace saw the text message from another woman, Jonathan Majors began explaining himself, and I think they got into a scuffle and a heated battle. Now, to make things worse, in the different evidences that have been shown, it is seen that Jonathan Majors was actually trying to get back his phone from Jabari. He was trying to get his phone back. He was trying to say, you know what, leave me alone, I have to go. He was intentionally trying to run away so that he can avoid any altercation with her and any lawsuits, just like what has happened. But before we continue, let's actually look at the video footage itself. You can be able to judge for yourself, and then I can continue explaining this video for you. Now, just from the kind of video that you've seen, you can see that Jonathan Majors, yes, indeed held her up inside the SUV. He held her up in the car, but most importantly, he was trying to avoid any physical assault or any altercation with her. Now, the only physical way he actually got physical with her was to actually get her and put her inside the car. He grabbed his phone and then he ran away. His girlfriend chased after him down the streets of New York, and this was around 11 or midnight. She found out that she could not catch up with Jonathan, so she ended up getting inside her crew. She found her gang of friends, and then she came and joined them. Then she was actually trying to tell them that, you know what, you guys, Jonathan has assaulted me, he has beaten me, he has been harassing me, that kind of thing. So then her friends actually gave her the idea that, you know what, you can actually sue Jonathan in the district court. So she actually went ahead and filed a lawsuit for harassment. She actually filed 4 counts, harassment and assault. Now, in the United States, they have intentional assault, reckless assault, and then harassment. They have different types of harassment, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to explain to you the actual counts that the court found him guilty of. Now, as of a few hours ago, as of about 5 to 10 hours ago, the district court actually found Jonathan guilty of 2 counts. Number 1, they found him guilty of reckless assault, and they also found him guilty of harassment. Now, I'm going to discuss assault in this video. I've already done different videos on assault, especially shorts, concerning the video of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, but I'm also going to leave the link in the description below. Now, assault is the apprehension of harm onto another person. What does this mean? Assault basically means that you may not necessarily have to physically harm someone, but just your actions of maybe telling someone, you know what, I'm going to punch you, and your fist actually showing a very firm stance, that can be interpreted as assault. So assault can be both physical and it can be also the actual, like just showing someone that you're going to harm them. So even me rolling up my fist, if I'm getting into a heated argument with someone, that can be seen as assault. Now, what are the ingredients of assault? Assault is basically the apprehension of harm, meaning this person must have been scared of their life to know that this person is going to harm me. So they must have been scared on the other part of the person, and you must be showing them that, you know what, there's actual harm that I'm going to put on you. Now, in more severe cases, assault actually involves physical touching of that person. So I may not necessarily have to touch you for you to sue me for assault, but in more severe cases, I'll actually have to hold you and then put you inside maybe the car, now like in this case which Jonathan is going through. Now, the district court has been going through different trials, different hearings at different mentions, since this is a criminal offense, or these are different criminal offenses. Now, the 2 counts of assault and harassment, which the court has found Jonathan guilty of, are what are called misdemeanors. Now, I've also discussed misdemeanors on this channel. I want to explain to you what the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony are. A misdemeanor is a smaller crime which someone engages in, which is not as severe as a felony. Now, a misdemeanor can go to things like maybe driving without a driver's license, assault, maybe grievous bodily harm, things which do not result into death or maybe any other serious felony. Now, a felony is a bit different. A felony is a very grave and capital offense which usually leads to the death of someone, or it leads to a lot of damage or injury put on a different person. Now, felonies amount to aggravated robbery, they amount to manslaughter, they amount to murder, they amount to attempted murder. So a misdemeanor is a smaller crime which usually deserves a small punishment. Most misdemeanors have punishments such as 1 year, 2 years, 6 months community service, and then also felonies have very, very grave maybe punishments such as life imprisonment, death, maybe even death by hanging, or most importantly, it may even have charges such as 25-year sentences. Now, according to this case, Jonathan Majors, if the court is charging him with reckless assault, then it means that he did not intentionally mean to harm Miss Grace Jabari, but by him grabbing his phone and then putting her inside the car, it means that yes, he assaulted her, but it was not intentional. It just came in the heat of the moment. That's why they're calling it reckless. And to even make matters better or worse for this case, the court removed intentional assault from him. Why? Because if he indeed, let's say, put her inside the car and then even punched her, then there the court would actually say that, you know what, Jonathan, you actually intended to kill this woman, or intended to grievously injure her, maybe with a punch. The fact that he just put her away and grabbed his phone and went away, actually the laws in the US indeed state that any person has a right to use reasonable force if you have confiscated their property without their consent or with their knowledge. Now, if you look at the video that we've just seen, Jonathan's ex-girlfriend Jabari grabbed his phone, which was private property. So this was a battle between my right to privacy and my right to property versus what you want. Now, the fact that Jabari was in the heat of the moment and grabbed his phone, that wasn't right on her part. So Jonathan was actually rightful to actually grab his phone and then run away. The fact that the jury played the evidence, the camera scenes everywhere, and showed that Jonathan was actually running away from Jabari, it means that he indeed actually did not mean to harm her at all. Now, that was just a breakdown of all the facts, but eventually the court charged Jonathan with 2 counts, number 1 of reckless assault and then of harassment of his ex-girlfriend. Now, I think Jonathan would have come out very clean in this, because the different YouTube channels and different media houses were indeed saying that Jonathan was going to be acquitted. But what made it worse was the new evidence that came out in the court. Now, new evidence came out stating that in their previous relationship between Jonathan and Jabari, Jonathan would gaslight her a lot. For those of you who might not know what gaslighting is, it means you're giving out statements or actions to the other party, in most cases who is a person or a partner, giving them a false reality, making them doubt the reality of what they actually mean. So in this case, you find that maybe Jonathan had another maybe ex-girlfriend or a maybe private affair, and he would keep sending her, maybe he would keep telling Jabari that, you know what, you know, the kind of woman I would want to be with. And actually in court, they stated, there were texts that came out stating that Jonathan once texted Jabari stating that, I wouldn't want a woman like you. I would want a woman who is like Michelle Obama. I'm a great man. I would want to be like Barack Obama or the other great men in Black America. So all of this came to the detriment of Jonathan Majors. And finally, the verdict of this lawsuit actually came stating that Jonathan was guilty of 2 charges, like I said, reckless assault and also harassment of his ex-girlfriend. Now, let's just see, the court has actually given a sentence that Jonathan Majors is going to receive his sentence in February, I think 24th, according to the tabloids. And in most cases, Jonathan Majors could actually be facing jail time of about 1 year. Because like I said, assault, common assault, grievous assault, all of those usually carry a charge of 1 to 2 years in maybe a community prison or a county prison, depending on the kind of court which his girlfriend took him to. So it's really sad to see another black man going down, but let's just see how everything goes. Jonathan's lawyers could actually appeal to a higher court, maybe the Court of Appeal or the High Court, maybe in California where they filed a lawsuit. But let's just see where everything goes. It's really sad that Marvel has actually put Jonathan out of business. How? Like I said, Marvel has now ever since dismissed and fired Jonathan because of the different lawsuits that have been put on him. This lawsuit is the very one that Jabari has put on him, but Disney and Marvel Cinematic Universe has had a very huge history of letting go of people, especially who have lawsuits. And to even make it worse, he's no longer going to star in King Kong, which was the upcoming Avengers, maybe part 6 and part 7, and they may be starring another person. They may switch him for another person, but let's just see where everything goes. And also, if you're ever looking for a lawyer, well, you can go to my legal mobile app called Farmeron. Farmeron is a legal mobile app which connects people and lawyers together, which offers a multitude of other services which can help people's day-to-day lives. For our very own person who we're talking about in this channel, Jonathan Majors, could have actually used Farmeron, because at the very time when they charged him for common assault or reckless assault, had Jonathan Majors known about Farmeron, he would have actually used this legal mobile app to be able to help him with a number of issues, especially concerning our nice defense lawyers on the platform that can be able to help him with whatever legal issue that he had. On this platform, you can have lawyers who can represent you with assault cases, with battery cases, with misdemeanors, with felonies, with land issues, fraud, whatever it is. So if anyone is near Jonathan Majors, please tell him about the Farmeron app. He could be able to use this app to be able to get lawyers who could represent him in the Court of Appeal or High Court. So Farmeron is available on both Android and Apple Play Store, and you can be able to find lawyers that can help you with whatever legal issue you want. Until next time, before I also forget, please check out these different playlists where you can find more and more Simply Legal. Until next time, bye.